Hey everybody, on here, and I'm out at one of our iconic bridges today in my area getting this month's video cut. It is raining out here, but hey, I'm not gonna let that stop me. I got the river running behind me here and the creek, and you know, it was one of the more private places I could think to come outside and shoot and not get heavy rain on me right now. It's been pouring for a couple of hours, and I was just cutting my other video from my Connecting Codes channel from inside my vehicle. So it's a little crazy this month in getting things filmed, but I love being outside. It's amazing, and I love it. And this month in the video, I am talking about what brings true abundance and success. If you see me look away a little bit, I have some notes. I have some notes, just some highlight points for myself. But anyways, I am the author of The Code Journey, and every year I put out a new edition. I'm happy to say that really nearing in on having the 2025 edition ready. 2024, of course, is still available. The ebook version of that is going to get discounted, I believe July 1st, if I'm correct. Right around in there, and it will be taking another price reduction in case you want to check it out. But of course the paperback is also available through Amazon, and you can go to my website compassioncodes.com, go to the goods tab, look the Code Journey, and you will find the links to get you directly to the purchase place pages. It's been a long day, you know. It's late at night here, and well, it doesn't look late at night, but it is late at night. You know, I'm pushing I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night here. So anyways, I want to talk about this, about true abundance and success and what brings that on, and some of the components, because in our upcoming codes in July, it talks about these opportunities for success to come through. But there are some things that we have to keep in mind, or that we would like to keep in mind. We don't have to, but they're good to keep in mind when you're generating true abundance and success. And remember that true abundance isn't dependent on money and status and fame and fortune. True abundance is something that comes from within us. It really is flowing out from the inside. And success is a lot of times it's dependent as well on what we are bringing out from within us. So when I look at this, I really feel like that abundance is, you know, it's the result of activating God or divine source within us, and then letting that flow out into the world, into what we're doing, and working in partnership with God or divine source. So as I start to look at that, and I have to be careful because the raindrops, I don't want them to mess up my notes too much on here, otherwise I'm going to be in trouble. But one of the big things that we want to do is to stay focused on our own efforts, and we want to stop worrying so much about what other people are doing. One of the things I notice with people when they're trying to create successes in the world is that they really want to pay attention. Well, what's this person doing, and how much are they selling, and what are their metrics, and what are their numbers, and this and that. Stop worrying about all of that stuff. So much of that stuff can be manipulated. So much of that stuff can be skewed, and in the long run, it doesn't really determine your success. It might determine some of your bottom line, but not always. I mean, people can have millions of followers and still be, you know, barely making a living. It varies. It varies, and there's so many variables in there. So I say don't really look at the metrics so much, and don't get into comparing yourself with other people, because once you start doing that, you're going to go and pull yourself out of abundance, because you're going to feel like, well, I'm never good enough. I haven't met this mark. I haven't met that mark. And a lot of times we have to just sit back and relax into things, and when we do that, then actually the doors open up and we create a magnetic energy that helps people to draw into us. Now, another aspect that we have is about focusing on quality and integrity. And I say, always put your attention there. Again, don't worry about how somebody else is doing something. You know, you can use other people for inspiration, but you don't want to be sitting around obsessing, how are they doing, where are they at in the process, how far have they come in what period of time, and all of that. Just focus on the quality and integrity, and when you do that, you're going to find that people want to step forward and help you. I've had a lot of that. I've kept my focus on that, and yes, it took me a little longer to build some stuff up. It's taken me longer to get places, but again, there's a lot of variables. I've done things in very cost-effective ways. I've worked without a budget at many points where I had no budget to put in, so I had to do things myself. Getting programs or things weren't an option, so to say. And if I sat around and spent my time worrying about that other people and what they're doing and where they're at in their process, then I'm depriving myself and I'm pulling my attention away from what I'm doing. But if I focus on the quality and I focus on the integrity, I build a lot of support from people who want to see me succeed, who want to support my successes. And then it becomes a very beautiful organic flow that opens up from that, because then I know that when people are sharing things, they're sharing because they really want to support me in my work, and they're not sharing something because they're obligated to, or they're being paid to, or the bots are doing it. And again, a lot of those times, even the bots and things like that, they don't necessarily guarantee you business. Everybody's a little bit different in how it manifests and how things work for them. But if we focus on that, and then the other piece of that quality and integrity is to really get to know what you're doing on a more in-depth level. Get to know more the process, more of the understanding of things, and always be learning and refining. I think that's a big piece. We did that, and there's been several jobs that I've had along the way that did that. Where they encouraged us to keep learning. Okay, so now that we carry museum quality blown glass versus just blown glass, what does museum quality mean? And what does that take to create museum quality? And why do the ovens have to be kept at a certain temperature? And why do things have to be rolled a certain way? And so on and so forth. And what metals or minerals or things like that have to be used to create different colors? And how can that be impacted? And why is a large piece so you can go on and on. So if you're always learning and refining, that's another thing. And if you're focused on quality and integrity, you're going to want to always be learning and refining things, because you're always going to be thinking, okay, what can I do that will maybe make this process a little bit easier? I've even done that with the book and the code journey, and I've had points where I said, we really need to bring in this distortion piece so that people can take a look and see when they're off course, because a lot of people don't think about themselves being off course, and they are off course. So, some of these pieces where it just expands you. And when you are involved in that process and open to that process of the learning and the refining, then you will constantly be improving the quality of your work. So here again, a lot of people, they're not used to seeing integrity and quality of work anymore. And when we focus on that, then it really increases the value of what you're doing. And that, of course, is going to add to your successes. Let's see here. And then we want to be in divine service with things. That's the next component. Being in divine service is really important. So some people really fall into controversy. They're like, well, if I'm in divine service, I can't charge for anything. And if I can't charge for anything, I can't pay my bills and, and this sort of thing. So that's where we start to find a balance. And the thing about divine service is it means that it's something you are devoted enough to, committed enough to, passionate about. It is your mission. It is your purpose in life. It's not just a job or an income for you. And when we're working in divine service, we're not going to stop doing it no matter what the challenges are. I've had a lot of challenges along the way, and I'm still doing my work, even when I have to write from Dunkin' Donuts and try to proofread from Dunkin' Donuts or other places, or like today, filming one of my videos from inside my vehicle. You don't let the challenges stop you. You don't give up just because it's not paying off as quickly as you want or in the way that you want. You stay with it. That commitment is ongoing. And the other part about divine service or mission work is that you place people above profit. So you oftentimes will have different layers. It's not just about a profession or a type of work. It's about the fact that you actually care about people, you care about what you're doing, you care about what their needs are. And so I do that a lot of times of scaled work. So like I'll have donations and people can donate. And when they donate, that kind of covers my time that I end up giving away to somebody who needs something in need. So there might be somebody who I know they're in tough times. Normally they're fine, they take care of themselves, but maybe they hit one tough little spot along the way and I've got them covered and somebody else has donated to cover that. Or some people, I will create an exchange with them in there. But it's about people above profit instead of profit above people. So we're not taking advantage of people. It's not like, hey, I can get X amount of money for doing this, so I'm going to charge that amount of money. You have to weigh that out with what's actually in integrity. Just because I might be able to charge twice as much as what I charge, or 3 times as much on my coaching services than what I charge. But in the end, is that really what it's about? And it's not. Just because I can get it doesn't mean I should do it. And so that's a big thing to keep in mind when you're looking at it. So being in this divine service, I think, is really a critical part of success. And it, again, makes people want to do business with you. It makes people want to support you in your successes and the work that you're doing from them. And then let's see here. What else do I have here? We must work with others and not over them, under them, or against them. And I'm sorry because my daylight is not the best here, but when we do that, we come to value and appreciate everybody. So this is really about, again, we work with people side by side. It's, it doesn't matter whether I'm a manager and somebody else is a janitor, or I'm a janitor and somebody else is a manager. That part doesn't matter because we both do different things and we have different roles and we can't really compare ourselves, and we have different skills and different viewpoints. And I guarantee you there's things that janitor sees that I would never see as a manager, and vice versa. And as we come to understand the values and the qualities and the mindsets and the thoughts of different people and their skill sets, that's when we actually can start to work with each other. And when we come and we're willing to do a hands-on, so to say, side-by-side experiential teaching. I wish we would get a lot back more to experiential teaching, because the lessons really set in a lot more when you're doing something versus when you're just listening to something or hearing something or watching something. So when you actually do it and you're engaging those senses and you have somebody working with you in kind and patient ways, then you actually develop a lot more. And this is also brings us into this aspect of know what other people are doing around you, other people that connect with your work. So I need to understand maybe a little bit more about people who do marketing, or people who how different programs work and algorithms work on social media and things like that. And my willingness to understand these different roles and things that are connected to what I do in some way, shape or form, then allows me to do a better job with what I'm doing, right? The more I understand their job, the more I can improve my job, and the better I can get my piece to function with their pieces, and so on and so forth. And it all has got this kind of interactive integration that happens in there. But really, again, this piece of working with others, how can we work with others on things? And I know that sometimes I'm challenged by that, because, I tend to be, okay, I got to do it all myself, or, different things. And we all have our perceptions and ideas of how things are to be done. But if we're going to work with each other, it's like a relationship. You got a little bit of a give and take, and you got to acknowledge that, yeah, the other person has skills and value and wisdom, and I need to acknowledge that and recognize that. And the more I can do that, the more that they will also recognize my value and wisdom and skills and things. And then a next key in here is to transform our challenges. So it's inevitable when you're trying to create successes and you're residing in true abundance, you're going to hit some challenges. It's not all challenge free. So if you hit some challenges along the way, you want to be able to transform them. This is like taking that negative thought and or that unpleasant experience and finding the blessing in it. The same thing is true. You want to transform the challenges that you're having. You want to take and say, okay, this is a little bit hard for me, or I don't like the way this person's treating me, or I don't like the way this is going down. So what can I do with that? Sometimes there's nothing I can do about it, and what needs to be transformed is my attitude or my perception of things, and I need to take a serious consideration of that. On the other hand, I might be able to take it and say, okay, well, this is not my skill set, so now guess what? I'm going to learn about marketing, or I'm going to learn about this, or I'm going to learn about that, and accept the challenge that's being presented to me as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to develop my skill sets, to become where I don't have to rely on people maybe as much. And that is just something, or saying, okay, great, I've got, rain coming down today, and here it's not too bad, but like I said, where I was, an hour ago, it was pouring down, and it's like, okay, what's my challenge? Here's my day to cut the video. I have to get it done. So I guess we're going to go to this spot where I can get public Wi-Fi, and then I will cut the video from inside the vehicle. So you accept the challenges. You don't let them overcome you. You don't let them overwhelm you. You get in and you accept them and go, okay, what are we going to do with what we've got? It's kind of like going to the cupboard and saying, okay, this is what I've got in my cupboard. What am I going to make for dinner? Type of thing. And then confidence. Confidence is really kind of the final piece that plays in for our July influences and for this month. Confidence is a big thing. You want to be confident in yourself. And you know what? Confidence doesn't just show up and appear and be there for you. Confidence is something that is developed, and it comes through some trial and error, and it comes through meeting those challenges, all these points that I've been talking about. And confidence is something that, again, we build it. It's not just automatic, it's something that we build, and it's something that we pull out from inside of us. And part of what builds that confidence is facing those challenges and then saying, here's the challenges. Oh, look, I can do this. Oh, look, I can do that. Maybe it's not as perfect or as beautiful as somebody with 20 years experience on their back or something like that. But you know what? I could do a pretty decent job all the same. And you start teaching yourself. So it's built piece by piece. But first you just got to have the faith of saying, well, I can at least try. I can at least start by trying things. And then I'll build from there. And then I can work on my skills. And maybe I'll talk to somebody who does whatever piece, and I will learn a little bit from them. Or I'll watch some of their videos or something and start to get some ideas flowing. And sometimes when we do see somebody else doing something, we can get inspired, but we can also realize, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. And it's like a lot of people, they look at me and they say, I don't know if I could do what you could do. I don't know if I could do vehicle life. I don't know if I could do it. Well, I never thought I'd be doing vehicle life at my age. Honestly, I never thought that was going to be the case, but here it is, and I have a choice. I can embrace it and make the best of it, or I can sit around wallowing in the misery, and the misery is never going to lead me to success. But it does inspire people what I go through, because they come back and look at me and they go, wow, if you can do that in your condition, then certainly I can sit down at my desk in my peaceful, quiet home and do something. So, everything has its pros and cons. I look at it that way. There are times that I say, actually, I think kind of in summer, it's not so bad being in my vehicle because, I'm actually cooler probably in my vehicle at night than a lot of the homes are around here. So it's not so bad. Winter's definitely a lot more challenging. But here again, these are all components of success. So take them in and think about these different pieces here and really get in and look at them and work with them. because success is going to be something that you create. Success is something that you're going to bring out from within you as a result of tapping into that abundance. And again, that abundance isn't about how much resources you have. That's about realizing that you are enough, you have enough. There's always going to be a little piece of something that you can share. Like, I may not have enough, but maybe, you know, I could share half of my sandwich with somebody, and it's not going to leave me suffering to do that, right? But if it helps somebody else, great. Holding that divine service, holding that mission, not letting things get you down, but learning enough to realize, okay, here's what I need to do to take it to the next step. Here's what I need to do to increase that abundance within me. And the abundance is such a beautiful piece of working with God, working with divine source, working to open divine presence within us. And when we do that, and when we're in that partnership, when we are focused on that divine service aspect, we never really can be depleted. We never really can be in deprivation. And that has pulled me out of things so many times I can't even tell you, realizing that as long as I have that energy and that presence with me and this focus, and I hold to all of these pieces, that I'm never truly in deprivation, no matter what my circumstances are. And if that is the case, then I will always be abundant and I will always have success. And, you know, success, again, it's not measured in these material aspects. Success comes in a lot of different forms. And if we're getting it in one form, it will cascade into the other forms. So success actually is hard to get if we are focused on the materialistic pieces. We need to focus on the non-materialistic pieces in order to generate genuine success, so that then that can unfold into the support materially. And we stop worrying about, you know, am I in a six-figure salary or making $1 million a year? That doesn't really matter when you're in true abundance, because everything that you need unfolds for you. So with that, take care, everybody, and I will catch up with you next month, and maybe not in the rain.